only have eyes for you. Written in 1934, a while ago. And it still lives on. It's been sung by a number of people over the years. And one of those songs that everybody just kind of knows. One of the best-selling songs of all time. Our Lord has a song similar to that. You are valuable in my eyes. We read that tonight in that Isaiah text that we heard. You are valuable in my eyes. And the you that is said in that passage is not y'all. It's singular. It's individual. It's an intimate you. It is a deliberate you. We see him say, you are called by me. You are called by your name. You are mine. And we hear him say that 25 times in this passage. Just a short passage that we heard. Over and over and over. It is you, you, you. It's you. The people that first heard this passage were people that really needed it. They were people who were far from home. The Israelites yanked out of Jordan and ripped away from their life and sent to Babylon. And they were nothing in the eyes of the people in Babylon. They were slaves. They were prisoners. And they were the fodder that went into the machine that expanded the Babylonian Empire. The people that Yahweh referred to as dear and valuable were nothing to the Babylonians. It's easy to be dismissed as valueless sometimes, isn't it? Some people value us, some don't. And the question then arises, where do we get our value? From whom do we get our value? Have you ever used Photoshop or one of those goofy photographic programs to take fun pictures? My granddaughter and I were fooling around with this about a month or so ago. This is the infamous Petra, who I mentioned I think last week, a couple weeks ago. Sometimes we can use these programs to make weird, twisted, bulbing, just ugly and creepy pictures that give us an image of not who we really are. Those pictures are fun, but they're fun because they're so far from who we really present ourselves as. But those are the types of pictures that we get reflected to us day after day in the world. Or that come to us as we look around in the world today. See, we just turn on the TV, we surf the net, we go to the mall, we open a magazine, and there are perfect marriages, and perfect couples, and perfect families, and perfect figures. And all these seductive images imprint themselves on our lives. And then what do we see? We see ourselves as these weird, bug-eyed, bulbous, twisted pictures that we may have seen over the time. And now there's just such a distance between what the world tells us we're supposed to be and what we really are. And we lose heart. And we lose confidence. And we lose our sense of worth, of who we are. And when we lose worthlessness, we begin to take it out on others. We disconnect from relationships. We judge others to justify ourselves. We begin to undermine other people. Because somehow we believe that what other people think of us is really who we are. But it's not. Your true value comes from the Lord. He says, you are valuable. You are valuable in my eyes. It's that same you that's not plural, but specific and personal and exact. In the Hebrew, value means significant. It means of substance. It means it has stature to it. It's prized. It's preferred. It's precious. He says, you have value. What's value? Value is based on ownership. Now, you may have a hat that your great-great-great-grandfather wore in the colonial rebellion in America back in 1776, and that's valuable to you. But if you had a hat that George Washington wore, now, that's valuable because it was owned by George Washington. The Lord claims us as His. In Isaiah 43, He says, bring my sons from afar and my daughters from the ends of the earth, whom I formed, whom I made. We are His sons and daughters. We are owned by Him. You have value. And value comes from how much what somebody is willing to pay for something. God says in Isaiah 43, I will give people in exchange for you, and nations in exchange for your life. What happened when the Israelites crossed the Red Sea? Remember they got through the Red Sea? When they got to the other side, what happened? That whole nation, all their soldiers paid the price. They're all swallowed up by the water. God paid the price for their safety with the death of the Egyptian army. Our God is willing to lay down the life of other people because you have value. And there's more. In baptism, God claims you as His own, and on that Calvary hill, He paid for you with His Son. Because our God has eyes for you. In fact, He has more than eyes for you. He has hands and feet for you, which were pierced by a nail on a cross. He has a head for you, which was covered in a crown of thorns. He has a side for you, which was pierced by a spear. He has a heart for you. Jesus says, as the Father has loved me, so I love you. And He has ears for you. He says, ask and it will be given. And He has a body, and He has blood for you. Jesus says, given and shed for you for the forgiveness of sins. Isaiah testifies to this one exact fact. Our God loves these lyrics. The moon may be high, but I can see a thing in the sky. Because I only have eyes for you. Our Lord only has eyes